and welcome back. Yes, once again, we have our volleyball coaches show. It's been a long time, but we are pleased to have back Coach Angel Sharman on her 24th season here with the T-Birds. Led her team to a 10th place finish last year. Woo! And, of course, we like her, so we love having her back in the studio.
Thanks
Welcome,
for having
Coach.
me.
So, whole new team, essentially. Brand new year. Lots of exciting stuff. Let's get into it. What are we expecting this year? What are your hopes, desires? What have you seen? Lay it down on a stick.
Well, I don't know if we're going to have the start like we did last year. Last year we had so many sophomores. They know what to expect. This year we basically have a whole new team, and so it's just going to take us a little bit to get going. Understand, I got 2 new setters, so our offense is not going to be as crisp as it was at the beginning, but hopefully if they continue to work hard, then hopefully we can still, our goal is to make it to the national tournament and win the region, of course, but it's just going to take us a little bit longer than what it did last year.
Well, you brought up offense, and that's actually something I want to talk about. Kat Bulick, Mia Hutchinson. Mia ended up as an All-American.
She did.
Kat was just so close, almost had it.
Yep.
I feel like they led the team, great sophomores, great sturdy foundation for that. How are you going to replace those two?
That's the tough part that we're doing right now. I don't have we have 2 new freshman setters, and so they're still trying to learn the pace of the game, because the pace of the game is totally different than where they came from. So that is a big key for us there, but they're both pretty quiet. Kat kind of took control, and she basically, was our quarterback for our team. So we're going to miss that for sure. Mia was just really dominant up there. She just worked hard on the court. She wasn't real vocal, but she produced for us and just showed us what we needed to do on the court. And so everybody followed that. So we just don't have that leadership that we had last year. So we're still trying to find that. I have a couple kids that are trying to do that, but it takes time to do trust. But like I said, we got some big shoes to fill, and right now we're not quite there yet.
Right. And I know you have a few returners, and one of those important ones is Jocelyn Rajvong, who had actually quite a few kills, not quite as many as Mia, granted, but
Right.
Still an important asset to your offense. Are you hoping to see her step up a little bit?
For sure. She's actually going to be taking the role of Mia's. Mia was up there with the setter, so that only had 2 hitters. So that's why Mia had quite a few attempts. Jocelyn last year was with 3 hitters. So she just didn't get that many attempts. But we're going to put her in that rotation where she's going to be relied on a lot. She's doing very well. She's going to be one of our primary passers. She's one of our most aggressive and consistent servers. And she blocks well, so we're definitely going to expect big things from Jocelyn, as well as Emily. Emily's going to return in the middle, and again, she blocked some balls this last weekend out of scrimmage, and pretty excited about that level as well.
You always got to love it when you see people stepping up, making plays. And have you seen any of your freshmen yet kind of stepping up and really kind of being outstanding, or is it still early in the season?
I think it's still pretty early yet. I'm trying to get the grit from them and get the killer instinct from them. I think right now I don't know if they're just a little bit timid of just the pace of the game and still trying to learn what I want from them. So hopefully once they get comfortable, then hopefully I can see somebody kind of step up and want to be that hunger and kind of take charge a little bit.
Yeah, we'd love to see it, because I feel like from last year's team, when they had someone in charge, especially those sophomores, so Kat and Mia, I'm talking about specifically, you were really able to be on their shoulders, and the team kind of went forward. They keep that momentum and kind of stay in formation as they needed, but we're really hoping that someone stepped up, right?
We hope so. And again, it's early. And again, I don't know if they feel comfortable enough, because again, I feel like they're freshmen, and so I don't think they want to overstep their boundaries. But I told them, freshman, sophomore, doesn't really matter. We're a family, we're a group. It's whoever wants to step up and take that role. So hopefully somebody will take that encouragement and step in
And
there.
families communicate. And I know we had this issue last year quite a few times, and that led to some unforced errors and just communication. Are you foreseeing that being another issue this year?
I think it is. I think it is for sure, because we've been talking about that. And again, I have some internationals that are just really quiet. And then I have some just other players that are just quiet, and their voice is not carrying the way we want it to. And so they said they call it, but me, I'm old. I can't hear it. So I tell them they have to talk louder. So we'll see. Again, it's, we're week 3 and yeah, we play this weekend, but hopefully we can climb that mountain, because again, we don't want to be at the top of the mountain right now. We just want to really climb and get to the top when it's the right time.
Okay. And, we had this thought, and especially since it's the beginning of the season, I really want our fans and viewers and potentially those potential student athletes that will come and look at Casper College, when you're looking at a potential recruit or a potential player, what is it that you really look at? I mean, I imagine communication and being vocal would have to be one. But what other are some of those factors that would say, hey, they're a team player, they're going to make an impact, they're going to be a leader?
I think, again, you always look at their athletic ability, but then you also look at how aggressive are they going to be, especially when things aren't going well. Are they going to shut down, or are they going to be the player that says, hey, set me the ball, I'll take care of it? Those types of things. So that's what we kind of look for sure, is the grit, and who's going to be like, yeah, I got blocked, or I hit it out of bounds, don't set me, or are they the person that, hey, set me again, I got it. So those are the big things, because again, I think timidness is just, for volleyball, is not great, because we always focus on the next ball. The ball doesn't remember what just happened, the player does. And so I'm looking at players that don't worry about what just happened, is they focus on what's happening in the next play. So, and then their volleyball IQ, for sure. Everybody knows a lot about playing, but they don't see what's happening on the other side of the court. And so I think that's huge, is volleyball IQ.
Right. So volleyball IQ, the mental fortitude, physicality, just that athleticism, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of sums it up of what you're looking for, and then obviously how that works within a team and
Absolutely.
they can work forward. I love that. That'll be great. So then, as a coaching philosophy, if I remember correctly, last year you had your team was one of the better servers.
We were.
In the country.
So yeah, we were the top serving team. Again, we're working on that this year. We're serving real aggressive, but our consistency isn't there yet. Because again, they just focused on getting it over. We focused on aggressive speed, and then also placing the serve. It's just not getting it over and serving to certain people. Most of the time when they serve it in high school, they just get it in. We want to serve at certain positions on the court. We want to keep it away from the libero. And so they're just trying to keep that accuracy and speed at the same time.
Right. If I remember when we talked last year, your coaching philosophy is still more of that aggressive serve, get them unorganized, but also still working on that defense, right? Is
Absolutely.
that kind of how you're going to still move forward?
We are. This group is a little bit different, but we'll change a little bit. I think blocking wise, we're working on some blocking, because I think that's we're a little bit weaker than we were last year. Defensively, we were pretty strong. Lost our DS before the season started, but we have another one coming in, McKenna Lorenzen, and I think she's stepping up big time. Still getting to understand what our philosophy is, and just a little bit of the speed and the hard hits that are coming. So, but she's doing great, and so that is a big impact for us since we lost Nia to an injury before she ever got here. So,
which is absolutely unfortunate, but on the plus side, I did see from this year's roster, you've got some height this year.
We do have height. Again, that's good or bad, because if you don't know how to use it,
right.
We have some height. They're just getting to know the pace of the game. And back in the Europe and international style, it's more throw that ball up and I'm just going to crush it. So ours is speed. And so they're just got to get used to the different types of speed, and right now they're not getting that yet.
Well, it's a great thing we got a whole season. So that brings us up to the first official. So we had multiple scrimmages this past weekend, and then also inter-scrimmage 2 weeks ago. Now we've got the McCook County Invitational, the first opening play this weekend of volleyball, which we're all super excited for. So we've got Otero, North Platte, then we've got Seward, and then we got McCook.
We do.
I know it's a lot to cover, but let's just kind of throw out there and see what sticks. What can we expect?
I didn't really get to see Otero play this last weekend because they were at our scrimmage. I really didn't get to see them much. But again, they're always scrappy, and so we just have to make sure that we're ready for the ball to come back no matter what. North Platte, they're going to be coming into Division I next year. They left our region to go Division II, but they're going to come back into Division I. She always does a great job. She recruits kids to be Division I, so it doesn't matter what their division is. We got to be ready for them, and so they're going to be pretty strong. Because I don't think she lost a whole lot, so that could be a challenge for us. Seward is always going to be a challenge. Their whole squad is international, and so last year we went 5 with them, and so I expect the same thing. Is that it's going to be pretty intense, and again, we'll test our defense out and our blocking against Seward. And then McCook, we saw them this last weekend for the scrimmage, and again, it was back and forth, and we both played different people. So, we just have to focus on what we've been learning to do, and that's really what I'm looking at for this first weekend, is just trying to incorporate what we need to focus on and what we haven't done very well this last weekend. So if we can do that, then again, we can make adjustments of, okay, this weekend, this showed our weaknesses. This is what we need to get ready for the next weekend, because the next weekend's going to be a challenge.
From our conversation today, it sounds like, yes, there is lots of learning and growing pains, but I mean, with such a young team and new players and some leadership, which not a lot, just because it sounds like you have a couple that have a lot of actual playing experience, some not so much. Correct. Which
it's okay. I mean, that's what 2-year colleges are about. I mean, we're always rebuilding every year, and again, the sophomores that did play, they're going to have to step up. They know what it's like. The ones that didn't get to play as much are just kind of like the freshmen, and they're nervous and still learning, and but that's what we're about.
I love it. Yeah, I got to climb that mountain, get to the peak when it's time. And I'm going to go to this to kind of end it. I want to do some way too early predictions. We already mentioned you ended with a 10th place national finish, which we loved. We were there every morning watching you guys play, cheering you on.
Which I appreciate.
It was wonderful. I was getting tired of all the donuts and danishes that were brought. And of course, the one time I couldn't make it, then they had burritos. But I know, terrible.
Jeez.
You also finished first in the North Division.
Yep.
You finished as Region 9B champions, which
Correct.
I forgot to mention. So also a great accomplishment. We loved it. You had to do it the hard way, of course, just like with your 10th place finish.
Yep.
But you climbed back, which once again we love. What are your way too early predictions for the season?
I really don't know. Western Wyoming is going to be really solid. They only lost 2 kids. And so, I mean, they were in the same boat that we were last year. So, they're going to be pretty salty. They put up a big block. I watched them this last weekend. So, I think they're going to be the ones really to beat and challenge everybody. Central didn't really lose a whole lot. So I think they're going to be in that vote. So I think those 2 are the really ones that didn't lose a whole lot. And so I could see them being the top 2 for right now. And so, again, our goal is to knock them off. But I think that prediction is everybody saw that coming because, again, of, not graduating that many kids. So.
Right. And I know not in our division, but NJC, Northeastern Junior College, it was unfortunate with the passing of their coach, which – I mean, it sounds like he was having some issues.
Oh, that was with Western Nebraska.
Western Nebraska.
He's just had some health issues. He had to step away. They brought in another fantastic. She played there. And then once she played there, she played at Penn State, and she was an All-American at Penn State. And her she was an amazing player, so I know she'll get that squad going. I know she brought in some kids, and so she'll get that going. NJC is just big, strong.
Yeah, ranked 3 this year so far.
They are ranked 3rd. They have a 6'4" middle. They got a 6'6" oppo lefty that we played against. And so they brought in a transfer that was an All-American, and so they have their setter back. So again, they're going to be really strong in the South, and but again, you know, you just have to play every single night, and you don't know what's going to happen. So
All right,
we'll see.
We definitely will see, but we're excited. We're here to support you, and hopefully we get lots of good news and good conversations on these coaches' shows.
Let's hope so. No guarantee.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach. It's
Thank
always
you.
a great time, and T-Bird fans will see you around.